Welcome to the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. This one is a short film. It's a bit different. I'm putting it up, trying to help another guy get going with. Wait till you see it. You won't believe it. It is not fishing. But then, I can put up what I want, can't I really? Anyway, here I was. I'm at Mike's, well, I'm going to call it one of his bushcraft shows, helping him out with stuff. Some strange music being played, some strange music. I'm walking along, my ear is drawn in the direction of this gentleman. I thought, oh my God, whatever is that man playing? Well, it's certainly something different. Check this out. Hopefully you watch it right through. It's something different and it's something I've never seen or heard before. So, Josh, just tell me exactly two things. What are these guitars made of and what the hell is a luthier?
A luthier is a fancy word for a guitar maker, and these things are cigar box guitars, and the beauty of them is you can make them from anything. This one is made from a wine box, but traditionally they're made from plywood cigar boxes. But if you can find anything, a hubcap or a biscuit tin, you can make a guitar. Hubcap, yeah. Any kind of resonant chamber, any kind of box, you can put a neck through it and turn it into a guitar.
Now what,
make music.
You know, what got you sort of started in this?
Well,
because as a musician, you know, what got you? Just something unusual, the sound, or?
Well, I was doing a music degree, and I played a regular 6-string guitar, but I saw this guy on the internet called C6 Steve, and he was on Jules,
oh yeah,
Jules
I had
Holland's
a DVD.
Hootenanny. Yeah.
I had a DVD of him. Might get me one, yeah.
Yeah, and he had a song called Dog Bumped, and he just had a guitar with 3 strings, and he had this box on the stage, and he was just stomping on the box and just strumming away, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So I went to my dad and was like, you have the tools, I can play guitar, build me one of those, I need one. Dad's
in there, so what was Dad's input into this? What was his profession? Was he a carpenter or something?
Well, he was kind of like a handyman. He'd do odd jobs, like he'd put beams in people's attics, and he'd build nice wooden furniture and all that good stuff. Like, so we have a workshop in the shed and stuff.
So he's used to working with stuff. Yeah. Was this a challenge to him?
It was. I don't think he'd ever seen anything like it before. So he was a bit intrigued as much as I was.
Yeah.
And he thought, usually guitars are about, you know, anywhere from 500 to 2,000 pounds.
Really?
And the fact someone's on telly with a guitar that looks like it was like smashed together with hobnails.
Well, that's what stopped me. It stopped me in my tracks when I was walking around. Well, what stopped me in my track was, oh God, somebody at last has got some decent music on at this festival.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you trained as a musician with a regular guitar, I guess.
Yeah, I've been playing regular guitars and stuff since I was about 13 years old. So I've been playing mandolins and cellos and pianos and anything with strings on or anything that does a melody.
Yeah.
Is my kind of forte.
And you can decorate these. I mean, that's what would you call a basic one? Just talk the people through how the build of it is.
Well, this is just a wine box.
Yep.
I'm not even sure what wood it is. I was given this at a market by a fella, again, who was trading alcohol on a stall. And he saw me playing my tin box guitar that I'd made from Marks and Spencer's biscuit tin. And he went, I've got a van full of empty wine boxes, so you can have them all. So I was like, yeah, amazing. I'll do that.
Talk us through the strings and stuff. Is it the fretwork or frets or whatever they call them?
Basically, it's 3 strings from a regular guitar set. It's the G string, the D string, and the B string.
Yeah.
And you tune them to a chord so that already makes a note. And then it doesn't have any frets on it like you'd see, so there's nothing to really press down. All you
of course, yeah.
is take this thing called a slide.
Yeah.
And you change the note and chase it up and down the neck.
So this is your hearing, you're listening to the music rather than there's a numbered fretwork, as it were, to go on, you know?
Yeah, it's much more forgiving than a regular guitar, because if you're in the wrong place on a regular guitar, everyone can tell.
So if you hit a wrong note, you can do, you can slide it. That's the idea.
You can kind of.
Yeah, you can lose your mistakes. Oh, I see, that's tricky.
So it's quite good. I meet people quite often who have either hand impairments, physical impairments, or they're like little kids just wanting to get into music, but they haven't got the method to it yet. So I always see this as a good way to. It's a nice medium between a very basic instrument, and it's a nice
fun thing. I've seen that.
And it's not too technical. You don't need scales and arpeggios and all kinds of crazy handwork.
And the build at the top, the brass at the top, is that sort of a homemade as well?
It's stock brass that I cut with a handsaw, yeah. But I've got stuff with all kinds of stuff. I've got threaded roofing bolts that came from shed roofs. I've got all kinds of stuff that I've pulled off cars, like leaf springs and stuff.
And the bass, again, that piece of
and this
brass?
is just a piece of brass that stock brass. I took a hammer to it, drilled a few holes in it, and job was good, and screwed into the bottom.
And then you can put the decoration on them and make any other sort of pattern you want, can't you?
Yeah, and I even make them all electric. I just take a little piezo pickup, and I put the jack in there, chase all the wires in, solder all the wires down, and then I glue the wires into the front, and it acts like a little microphone and picks up all the noises.
And then if people want to buy like an amp, that's what you're using down here?
Yeah, it can work through any guitar amp, any kind of PA system, anything that you can make a noise through, you can plug in and play.
What would those sort of amps cost people to, you know, if there's a beginner or a youngster or a parent that's thinking, wow, that's some Christmas present for my son, you know, or daughter indeed?
Well, you can find like student amps or starter amps, little pocket things all over the internet. Any kind of second-hand selling site. Yeah. You can pick one up for £20 to £40.
Oh, not expensive then, yeah.
No, not very expensive. It depends on wattage, because the higher the watt, the more expensive the amp usually.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you want something big and professional and you're a real musician, you already probably...
You're not, though. I'm going by your amp thing.
Yeah, no, I mean...
No, I know what you're saying.
This thing is good because it runs on batteries, so I can run around and show everyone.
Oh, I got you, yeah, that's like good. That's very good, yeah.
Proper electricity mains. So, recently there's been a resurgence in this kind of do-it-yourself guitar making with C6 Steve's popularity, and there's this guy on YouTube called Justin Johnson who made a guitar out of a shovel, and that kind of kick-started this resurgence of different guitar makers, and probably the most famous ones who I've looked at and sought advice from is probably Shane Spiel and Glenn Watt, and they're both YouTubers based in America who do the cigar box building thing. And I didn't have a YouTube channel, I just had my profile on YouTube, no subscribers, no anything, and I just wrote an email to Glenn Watt saying, I'm interested in these guitars, what do I do? And he had no real business like responding to me or anything, because he's quite a big channel. And he just emailed back and he said, watch these videos on YouTube, it's not as hard as you think, just get into it, do it. Your first ones might be a bit ropey, but other than that, once you build one, you'll definitely catch the bug and build more. And every video on their channels a different way of playing or a different kind of instrument, and there's old old cowboy guitars that are made from tin cans or made from suitcases or made from anything. And there was this other video of a guy called Wes Freeman. He was an African musician and he was blind. Wow. And being in Liberia, guitars were kind of a commodity, and this was only recent, this was around the 2010s. He was actually built a guitar from a tin can, and he was singing these Christian songs on his guitar, but unfortunately he was hit by a car and passed away. But through the magic of YouTube, his video went viral. Really? And I think they've opened an orphanage in his village. Oh, brilliant. And they take these tin can guitars, and the people who make them all over the internet, like Shane Spiel and Glenn Watt, send guitars to kids with less good chances at life, and give them a means of creativity and escape. And I suppose because he was blind and he hasn't got to hit an exact fret like you said, he did it totally by sound with that slide. Yeah, and this is the thing with these guitars, is you can tune them however you want. There's no theory or maths to dignify anything. It's ultimate expression. And you can make that, if you wind that wire up tighter, you don't want to adjust it now, but you can make a higher pitch with it and everything. You can play it in a different key. And if you go up to a band of musicians who are having a jam, you can just say, hey, what key is the song in? And they say, oh, it's in F or it's in C. You can just take the guitar and tune the whole thing to C, really? And you won't hit a wrong note. Is that right? Yeah, really? And you look really, really cool when you play, because everyone goes, oh, this man's so talented, but the secret's just the way the guitar's made. That's good. Well, guys, for those of you who watched that, help old Josh Galloway out of Arcadia Guitars, UK. You never know, he might be able to make you one. I think they do sell those, but obviously it depends how many biscuit tins and hubcaps he can get hold of. In fact, maybe some of you guys out there might have some ideas of what would make, I'm going to call it a resonant chamber, that Josh could turn into one of those old guitars. I love the sound of it. Thanks for watching it. It's something different. I know it's not fishing, but I think I like to put different stuff up. I don't do all that trend following and copying stuff. I don't believe anybody might have this one. It might be exclusive on the day. We'll see you next time.